I consider innovation like at the top of the pyramid. It's near creativity, and in order to get to that level, I think you have to have a very proficient, reliable, usable design in order to make our way up to that. I think a lot of designers flip that pyramid, start with creativity, and they kind of forget about the fundamental basics of functionality of packaging.
One fundamental basis for us is to really drive consumer needs and consumer preference. And for us, that's really at the center of everything we do. So we focus on consumer insights, but not just listening to what the consumer is telling us. It's also being able to understand the unarticulated needs and wants of the consumer, so we can bring something that is relevant and sustainable.
I'll give an example from my past company, but at Heinz we had a brand called Classico, and it was in a mason jar, which is kind of an old form of packaging, but a very powerful type of packaging in the sense that it communicates homemade. One of the things we did in recent years was just try to take that further, putting things on the package to call out ingredients that were fresh, emphasizing the homemade qualities of the brand. So we used it to basically talk to our benefits on the package.
I think the start of any innovation, packaging or otherwise, is getting to understand what consumer desire is and how it relates to your brand. And then designing an experience that not only addresses it, but also starts to put in place planks for the future growth of the business. I always think of, a lot of people talk about, well, Apple never did any consumer research, but they knew enough to actually create the future for their consumers. And our job is to create future experiences. So to me, it's all about understanding your consumer, the category you play in, and how you create something that's distinct, unique, and desirable for them.
It's probably through a number of ways, right? We do a lot of, I would say, incremental innovation through the regional businesses, where we have a lot of the contact directly with can manufacturers, for instance, right? But then there's also a lot of significant and more radical innovation that takes place through our contacts with these brand owners, for instance, through the efforts here in the marketing group, R&D, and even our regulatory group has an input in this, because a big part of what drives our innovation is the regulatory landscape and chemicals of concern, for instance. So we need to be very much in tune with the changes in consumer preferences. So that's why it's really important for us to be close to brands, understand what their challenges are, and bring that back to us in building new products.
I would probably add the fact that Valspar is definitely responsible for making our customers more competitive. So make the metal can more competitive, either via cost reduction, but most importantly, having the metal packaging more attractive on the shelf, for all our brand owners and customers to be more attractive to all the different types of packages, right? So we look into innovations at multiple angles, right? Like Mark said, mostly driven by regulatory, but now we're looking to different types of shapes and formats, inks that might go into external effects like matte finishing and so forth. So we look at a variety of different angles, right? So then we can identify the right innovation for us to invest along with our customers.
Innovation in our company is all about design. So what is the customer going to interact with? How is it going to look on shelf? And what's going to catch their eye and be the most coolest thing that's going to be out there?